And as President Bush takes the oath of office, Health and Human Services Secretary Tommy Thompson prepares to say goodbye. Mike Gousha is live in Washington with that story. Mike.
Carol, more than 100 square blocks of downtown Washington are being closed to traffic tonight as final preparations are made for tomorrow's inauguration. Many of the people attending the inauguration from the state of Wisconsin actually arrived in Washington today. Some of them attended the first of many parties. About 200 turned out for this Wisconsin reception at the Willard Hotel near the White House. For a few, it was their first stop before heading out to the much-coveted black tie and boots ball, a hard ticket to get. And for most, this event also gave them a chance to say goodbye to Tommy Thompson as he addressed the Wisconsin crowd tonight. The Secretary of Health and Human Services for the Bush administration will leave next week. And today I had a chance to talk with Tommy Thompson about how the last 4 years had changed him.
You know me, I'm Irish and I'm very emotional. And
whether it's a final thank you from the nation's tribal leaders
Secretary, how are you?
Or a final interview with a Milwaukee TV station, Tommy Thompson is feeling a million emotions these days.
I had a great 4 years.
Thompson says after a tough first year, he grew to love his job and says the opportunity to travel and see the best and worst the world has to offer has changed him.
I become a much more rounded person, much more compassionate and understanding than I ever was before. And I think it's changed me for the better.
He's fiercely proud of his agency and its accomplishments.
Before I got here, nobody ever talked about prevention and trying to keep America healthy.
And after the interview, he's eager to show me his war room again, something he created and we first reported on shortly after 9/11.
So tell me about the changes you've made in here since we were here last.
You got to see one?
Okay.
We're doing, did you see this over here?
It's this room that monitors the world's health crises that may perhaps best symbolize Thompson's 4 years. New technology and a new worldview for his department. Now the question is, what about his new job? Well, not offering specifics, Thompson says he'll run a business, have an office in Milwaukee, and also wants to speak and write. And the kid from Elroy also says he might have one more job to add to his resume.
Harvard is putting on a big push for me to teach at Harvard, and I never thought I'd ever be on the Harvard campus as a professor.
Now, that was some of the humor that made Tommy Thompson one of Wisconsin's most popular officials. He admits he's not sure how he'll like the private sector, and he said if he doesn't like it, who knows? Maybe he'll run for office again or look for an appointed job. Reporting live from Washington, Mike Gousha, today's TMJ4.
Well, his resume is pretty good. Mike, you know, you've been here all week, in Washington all week. How have things, the security, become more intense? I know it gets worse as they lead up closer to the inauguration.
Well, you certainly see a lot more presence, law enforcement types on the streets, even U.S. troops. There are a number of aerial surveillance operations going on. And one thing that you can notice tonight, Carol, is they are putting up the barricades, the concrete barricades around the downtown area. Again, 100 square blocks of downtown Washington will be closed off tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much. Mike Gousha joining us live from Washington, D.C. And as we've told you earlier today, the weather is making for a tough situation in Washington. The city got snow today and more is expected tomorrow. The inauguration is outside and even the best seats are not covered.